David Baldacci, master of thrillers. What if I told you that one man has sold over 130 million books worldwide, created 10 different thriller series, and has been adapted by directors like Clint Eastwood, all while starting as a struggling lawyer who wrote in secret for over 20 years? This is the incredible story of David Baldacci, the master of modern thrillers. Picture this, 1996. A Washington, D.C. trial lawyer sits at his desk, having just finished his morning cases. But instead of reviewing legal briefs, he opens a secret manuscript he's been working on for 3 years. A political thriller about power, corruption, and murder at the highest levels of government. That manuscript? Absolute power. And it changed everything. David Baldacci was born August 5, 1960, in Richmond, Virginia. The son of an Italian-American family, he grew up with stories, dreams, and a mother who gave him his first notebook to record his ideas. But like many writers, his path wasn't straight. He earned his political science degree from Virginia Commonwealth University, then his law degree from the prestigious University of Virginia. For 9 years, he practiced law in Washington, D.C., working cases by day and writing by night. Here's what most people don't know. Baldacci wrote for over 2 decades before his first novel was published. 2 decades! He penned short stories that went nowhere, screenplays that collected dust, rejection after rejection after rejection. But he never stopped writing. When Absolute Power was finally published in 1996, it became an instant international bestseller. Hollywood came calling immediately. Clint Eastwood himself directed and starred in the film adaptation alongside Gene Hackman and Ed Harris. But here's where David Baldacci gets really interesting. Instead of resting on his success, he did something almost unheard of in the publishing world. He created not 1, not 2, but 10 different book series, each with unique characters, distinct worlds, and completely different storytelling approaches. Most authors struggle to maintain one successful series. Baldacci has mastered 10. Let me take you through the incredible universe he's built, starting with the series that will absolutely blow your mind. First, there's the Amos Decker series. Amos Decker isn't your typical detective. He's a former football player who suffered a traumatic brain injury that gave him perfect memory. He can't forget anything, ever. Imagine remembering every detail of the worst day of your life, forever. That's Decker's reality. Because the same perfect memory that makes him an incredible investigator also means he relives his family's murder every single day in vivid, painful detail. The series starts with Memory Man, where Decker returns home to find his wife, daughter, and brother-in-law brutally murdered. With his perfect recall, he remembers every horrifying detail of the crime scene. But instead of breaking him, it drives him to become the most relentless detective you've ever encountered. The psychological depth Baldacci brings to this character is staggering. Decker doesn't just solve crimes. He carries the weight of every victim's story in his perfect memory. 6 books in, and readers are still discovering new layers to this complex, damaged, brilliant character. Then there's the Robie series. If you've ever wondered what it's really like to be a government assassin, this is your answer. Robie is a stone-cold killer who works for the United States government, taking out targets that threaten national security. But here's what makes Robie fascinating. He's not a mindless killing machine. He questions his missions. He struggles with the moral weight of his actions. And when he's asked to kill a target in Washington, D.C. and refuses, suddenly he becomes the hunted. The series begins with The Innocent, where Robie meets a teenage runaway while dodging his own government's assassination attempts. What follows is a heart-pounding exploration of loyalty, morality, and the price of serving your country. Baldacci doesn't just write action scenes. He writes the internal conflict that makes someone willing to kill for their beliefs. 5 books in, and the Robie series remains one of the most psychologically complex spy thrillers ever written. Next, we have the Atlee Pine series. FBI agent Atlee Pine carries one of the most devastating backstories in modern fiction. When she was 6 years old, her twin sister Mercy was kidnapped from their bedroom. Pine escaped, but Mercy vanished forever. Now, 30 years later, Pine is a highly skilled FBI agent working in the remote Arizona desert, investigating crimes while secretly searching for any trace of her sister. The series starts with Long Road to Mercy, where Pine's professional case intersects with her personal quest in ways she never imagined. What makes the Atlee Pine series so compelling is how Baldacci balances high-octane FBI investigations with the deeply personal journey of a woman who spent her entire life wondering what happened to her other half. 4 books in, and every case Pine solves brings her closer to the truth about Mercy. But wait, It gets even better. The John Puller series introduces us to a military investigator who handles the most brutal crimes within the armed forces. John Puller is a combat veteran turned investigator, someone who understands both the honor and the darkness that can exist within military culture. Starting with 0 Day, Puller investigates the murder of a military family in a small West Virginia town. But what seems like a straightforward crime quickly reveals a conspiracy that reaches the highest levels of power. Baldacci's military background research is impeccable. Every detail about military protocol, investigation procedures, and the unique challenges of prosecuting crimes within the armed forces feels absolutely authentic. 4 books in, and the John Puller series has become the gold standard for military thrillers. Then there's the Sean King and Michelle Maxwell series. This is Baldacci's longest-running series, and for good reason. King and Maxwell are former Secret Service agents who failed in their protective duties. On the exact same day, 8 years apart, both agents lost their protectees. Both had their careers destroyed. Both carry the guilt of their failures. But when they partner up as private investigators, they discover their cases might be connected in ways they never imagined. Starting with Split Second, this series combines the insider knowledge of Secret Service operations with the psychological trauma of failure at the highest stakes. 6 books in, and King and Maxwell remain 2 of the most emotionally complex protagonists in modern thriller fiction. But here's where Baldacci really shows his range: the Camel Club series. This is pure conspiracy thriller gold. 4 ordinary citizens, a homeless conspiracy theorist, a library researcher, a former CIA assassin, and a loading dock worker, stumble upon evidence of a massive government conspiracy. The series begins with the Camel Club, where these unlikely heroes witness a murder that connects to a plot threatening the highest levels of American government. What makes this series so addictive is watching ordinary people use their unique skills to take on powerful forces that want them silenced. 5 books in, and the Camel Club series proves that the most dangerous people to those in power are often the ones society overlooks. And then, Baldacci does something completely unexpected. He writes the Vega Jane series. This isn't a thriller. This isn't a crime novel. This is epic fantasy. 14-year-old Vega Jane lives in the village of Wormwood, surrounded by a mysterious barrier that no one has ever crossed. But when Vega discovers that everything she's been told about the world beyond is a lie, she embarks on a journey that will challenge everything she believes. 4 books in, and the Vega Jane series proves that Baldacci's storytelling mastery isn't limited to any single genre. He creates magical worlds with the same skill he brings to government conspiracies. But wait, there's more. The Shaw and Katie James series tackles the ultimate nightmare scenario. What if someone had the power to start World War III? In The Whole Truth, a shadowy organization manipulates global events to bring nations to the brink of war. It's up to Shaw and James to expose the conspiracy before the world burns. 2 books in, this series showcases Baldacci's ability to write global-scale thrillers that feel terrifyingly plausible. And then there's the Aloysius Archer series. Set in post-World War II America, this noir-inspired series follows Archer, a war veteran and ex-convict trying to make an honest living as a private investigator. Starting with One Good Deed, Archer navigates the seedy underbelly of 1940s America, where corruption, violence, and desperation lurk behind the facade of post-war prosperity. 3 books in, and the Archer series proves that Baldacci can master any time period, any setting, any tone. But here's what makes David Baldacci truly extraordinary. He doesn't just write multiple series, he constantly evolves them. His most recent addition is the Travis Devine series, featuring the 620 Man. Travis Devine is an ex-Army special ops soldier turned financial analyst who rides the 620 train into Manhattan every morning. But when he witnesses something horrifying during his daily commute, he's pulled into a conspiracy that threatens everything he thought he knew about his new life. With his latest book To Die For, released in November 2024, and Strangers in Time coming in April 2025, Baldacci shows no signs of slowing down. But here's what most people miss about David Baldacci. He's not just a thriller writer. He's a master craftsman who understands the fundamental elements that make great storytelling work. Character development. Baldacci creates protagonists who are damaged, complex, and utterly human. They don't just solve crimes. They struggle with trauma, guilt, loss, and moral ambiguity. Plot construction? Every Baldacci novel is a masterclass in pacing. He knows exactly when to reveal information, when to hold back, and how to structure twists that feel both surprising and inevitable. Research? Baldacci's background as a trial lawyer shows in every page. His legal procedures are accurate. His government protocols are authentic. His character motivations are psychologically sound. World building? From the corridors of Washington Power to the battlefields of Afghanistan to the magical realm of Wormwood, Baldacci creates immersive environments that feel completely real. Dialogue? Characters in Baldacci novels don't just exchange information. They reveal personality, background, and emotional state through every conversation. But here's the secret that separates David Baldacci from other thriller writers. He understands that the best thrillers aren't about the plot. They're about the people caught in the plot. Take Amos Decker's Perfect Memory. In lesser hands, this would be just a gimmick. But Baldacci uses it to explore trauma, grief, and the question of whether forgetting might sometimes be a blessing. Or consider Will Robie's moral struggles. Another writer might just focus on the action sequences. But Baldacci digs into the psychological cost of being someone who kills for their country. The result? Characters who feel like real people facing extraordinary circumstances, not cardboard cutouts moving through predetermined action sequences. And the numbers prove it. Over 130 million books sold worldwide. Published in more than 45 languages across 80 countries. Multiple New York Times bestsellers. Hollywood adaptations starring A-list actors. But here's what's really impressive. Baldacci has maintained this level of success across multiple decades, multiple genres, and multiple series. He's not a one-hit wonder or a flash in the pan. He's built a sustainable career based on consistently excellent storytelling. His standalone novels are equally impressive. Absolute Power remains a classic of political thriller fiction. Wish You Well showcases his ability to write deeply emotional family drama. The Christmas Train proves he can handle romance and holiday warmth with the same skill he brings to assassins and conspiracies. And he's not done. With over 50 novels published and new books coming out regularly, David Baldacci continues to push the boundaries of what thriller fiction can accomplish. But here's what makes him truly special: accessibility. Baldacci writes complex, intelligent stories that don't require a PhD to understand. His characters face real human problems. His plots address contemporary fears about government overreach, corporate corruption, and the price of serving your country. Whether you're a casual reader looking for entertainment or a serious fan of literary thriller fiction, Baldacci delivers stories that work on multiple levels. So where should you start in the vast universe of David Baldacci? If you love psychological complexity, start with the Amos Decker series and Memory Man. The character's perfect memory creates unique storytelling opportunities you won't find anywhere else. If you prefer action-packed spy thrillers, begin with the Will Robie series and The Innocent. Government assassins don't get more complex or compelling than Robie. If you want deeply personal stakes, try the Atlee Pine series starting with Long Road to Mercy. The search for her missing twin adds emotional weight to every case Pine investigates. If you enjoy military accuracy, the John Puller series beginning with Zero Day offers the most authentic military investigation fiction you'll ever read. If you like team dynamics, the Camel Club series starting with the Camel Club gives you 4 unique protagonists working together against impossible odds. If you want classic noir atmosphere, the Aloysius Archer series beginning with One Good Deed transports you to post-war America with style and authenticity. And if you're looking for something completely different, the Vega Jane series starting with The Finisher proves that Baldacci's talents extend far beyond crime fiction. But here's the beautiful thing about David Baldacci's work. You don't have to choose just one series. His writing style is consistent enough that if you enjoy one series, you'll likely enjoy them all. Each series offers a different flavor of excellence. Different settings, different time periods, different types of protagonists, but the same masterful storytelling that has made Baldacci one of the most successful thriller writers in the world. And with new books releasing regularly, including Strangers in Time in April 2025, a World War II historical fiction that shows yet another side of his versatility, there's always something new to discover in the world of David Baldacci. So here's my challenge for you. Pick up a David Baldacci book today. Choose a series that appeals to your interests. Dive into a world of complex characters, intricate plots, and storytelling mastery that has captivated millions of readers worldwide. Because once you enter the universe that David Baldacci has created, with over 50 books across 10 series, featuring some of the most compelling characters in modern fiction, you'll understand why he's considered one of the greatest thriller writers of our time. The question isn't whether you'll enjoy a David Baldacci novel, The question is, which series will become your new obsession? Your journey into the world of masterful thriller fiction starts with a single page. Turn it. Find the complete chronological list of all David Baldacci books organized by series, detailed reading guides for every character and storyline, discussion questions for book clubs, and more thriller recommendations at hookedtobooks.com. Your next great reading adventure, and your introduction to some of the most compelling characters in modern fiction, starts now.